In the heart of Africa, Nigeria, savannas land in the eastern region, there is a village rolling with lush green foliage, growing plants, and vegetation, with lakes surrounding the village, that is known as Eziama village. They are blessed with good cultures and traditions, with blocks houses and modern zinc roof, and narrow footpaths between the houses, connecting neighbors to their buildings. The villagers were primarily farmers and traders, doing buying and selling of farm products, and also rendering other services in village market square every 4 days, and their farmers working the fertile land, cultivating yams, cassava, and maize. While some set fishing traps in their nearby lakes within the village. Their children are always filled with laughter when they are playing under the greater Irako tree at the village square, and elders often gathered to share stories, passing down wisdom through generations. Among these villagers was Udoka, a man who at his early 30s, known for his dedication to his family and farm. Tall and lean from years of labor, his skin is dark with the deep hue of the earth he tilled. His hands, calloused yet gentle, and testament to his hard work. Udoka's eyes, is dark and observant, reflected both determination and a deep-seated curiosity about the world around him. Udoka's wife, Amina, was a pillar of strength and grace. Her warm smile could light up the darkest of days. And her melodic laughter was a cherished sound in the village. Amina's hands were skilled in weaving intricate baskets and preparing meals that brought comfort to her family. Udoka and Amina had 2 children, which are Kwame and Ife, and are the embodiment of youthful exuberance. Kwame is the eldest child, and he is 10 years old. He is inquisitive and often followed his father to the fields, eager to learn the ways of farming. Ife is the youngest child, a spirited 8-year-old girl, who had a fondness for storytelling, captivating her peers with tales she heard from the elders. One fateful day, while clearing a new plot of land on the outskirts of the village, Udoka's hoe struck something hard beneath the soil. He was curious, to knelt down and unearthed an old, dusty calabash, its surface etched with unfamiliar symbols. As he wiped it clean, a faint whisper reached his ears, "I hold the wisdom of your ancestors." Startled, Udoka glanced around, but the field was empty save for the rustling leaves. Udoka's heart was pounding and trembling. He held the calabash closer. The voice spoke again, "Ask, and I shall share their knowledge." That evening, under the soft glow of oil lamps, Udoka shared his discovery with his wife Amina. Skeptical yet intrigued, she urged caution. "The spirit world is not to be trifled with," she warned gently. But Udoka's desire to better his family's lot overshadowed his apprehension. The following morning, with the first light of dawn, Udoka sought the calabash's counsel. "How can I make my crops grow better?" he inquired, hope lacing his voice. The calabash's response was immediately and said to Udoka, "Plant during the waxing moon, and your harvest will be plentiful." Udoka embraced this guidance, and adjusted his farming practices. Season after season, his fields yielded bountiful harvests, far surpassing those of previous years. The once modest family began to enjoy newfound prosperity. Amina's reservations eased as she witnessed the tangible benefits, and the children's bellies were full, their futures seemingly secure. News of Udoka's success spread throughout Eziama village. Neighbors, curious and hopeful, approached him for advice. With Amina's counsel in mind, Udoka chose to share the calabash's wisdom selectively, careful not to reveal its mystical source. The village, in turn, flourished, fields turning golden under the sun, and granaries filled to the brim. One evening, as the harmattan winds blew through the village, Udoka's curiosity resurfaced. Sitting alone with the calabash, he asked, "Can you tell me a secret of the past?" The calabashes hesitated, then replied, saying, "Some truths are best left unknown." But Udoka insisted, his desire for knowledge outweighing caution. The calabash revealed a tale of betrayal, saying generations ago, 2 brothers, ancestors of prominent village families, had turned against each other over land disputes, leading to a rift that had subtly influenced village relations ever since. Disturbed by this revelation, Udoka felt a growing unease. He confided in his wife Amina, who listened intently, her brow furrowing with concern. Some histories are buried for a reason, she murmured. But Udoka, driven by a sense of justice, felt compelled to confront the elders, believing that bringing the truth to light would heal old wounds. Udoka could no longer keep the truth to himself. The weight of the Calabash's secrets pressed heavily on his conscience, and he decided it was time for him to act. One morning, as the sun's golden rays spilled over the village of Eziama, Udoka sent word to the elders, summoning them to the great Irako tree at the village square, a revered spot where disputes were settled and important decisions were made. The elders arrived in their dignified manner, adorned in their traditional wrappers and beads. Their faces bore the wisdom of decades, and their eyes, though weary, held the authority of their station. Among them were Elder Okoro, the village chief, a man with a booming voice and an unyielding sense of justice, Elder Namdi, the keeper of ancestral tales, whose every word was weighed with careful consideration, and Elder Adaku, known for her sharp tongue and piercing gaze. Often acting as the moral compass of the village, curious villagers began to gather, forming a wide circle around the elders. Mothers carrying babies on their backs, farmers still holding their hoes, and children who had paused their games all watched intently as Udoka stepped forward, with the calabash cradled in his hands. His wife, Amina, stood a few paces behind him, her expression a mixture of worry and support. Udoka's voice trembled as he began, but it soon gained strength. "Elders of Eziama, I salute you all," he said, his tone resolute. "I have discovered something that demands our attention, a truth buried in the soil of our past. This calabash, whispered to me by the ancestors, speaks of a betrayal long forgotten." The crowd murmured, their curiosity piqued. Udoka recounted the calabash's revelations. Two brothers, ancestors of respected families in the village, had turned against each other, sowing seeds of discord that lingered for generations. As his words unfolded, gasps erupted from the crowd. The names of the brothers, Egu and Obina, were well known, their descendants still holding prominent positions in the village. Elder Okoro's face darkened, his hands gripping his staff tightly. Elder Namdi closed his eyes, as though searching the vast archives of his memory. Elder Adaku leaned forward, her piercing gaze fixed on Udoka. "Do you understand what you have done, Udoka?" Elder Adaku asked sharply. "You have unearthed a secret that could shatter the fragile peace we have nurtured." Before Udoka could respond, the villagers erupted into heated discussions. Accusations flew between the descendants of Egu and Obina, old grudges reignited like dry grass in a firestorm. Families that had shared meals and laughter suddenly regarded each other with suspicion. The once harmonious village was dived into chaos, with rumors spreading like wildfire. Amina stepped forward, her voice rising above the unpleasant noise, saying, "Is this what we want? To let the past poison our present? The calabash shared this secret, yes, but it is up to us to decide how we let it shape us." Her words quieted the crowd, but the unease lingered. Elder Namdi finally spoke, his tone somber. "The ancestors may have revealed this truth, but they also teach us that unity is strength. Divided, we will lose strength. Together, we can heal." Realizing the gravity of his actions, Udoka fell to his knees before the elders. "I sought justice, but I see now that I have brought pain. What can I do to restore the peace?" Elder Okoro stepped forward, his voice firm. "The calabash must be returned to the earth. And we must perform a cleansing ritual to mend the bonds of this village. But remember, Udoka, knowledge is a powerful tool. Use it wisely," Elder Okoro warned Udoka. With the village gathered under the moonlit sky, the elders led a solemn ceremony. The calabash was buried once more, and prayers were offered to the ancestors for forgiveness and guidance. Slowly, the village began to heal, but the scars of the secret remained, a reminder of the delicate balance between truth and harmony. Udoka, humbled by the experience, learned a valuable lesson. As he worked his fields in the days that followed, he reflected on his wife, Amina's words, and vowed to seek wisdom not for personal gain but for the greater good. Realizing the unintended consequences of his actions, Udoka sought solace in Amina's wisdom. "The past shapes us, but it does not define us," he said softly. "We must choose which truths to honor and which to let rest." With a heavy heart, Udoka returned to the field where he had found the calabash. Digging a shallow grave, he buried it once more, whispering a prayer for forgiveness and understanding. As the days passed, the village slowly healed, and Udoka learned that while seeking knowledge is good, some secrets are best left in the past. The moral lesson from this story is that curiosity can lead to growth and prosperity, but delving into certain secrets may bring unnecessary pain. It's important to recognize which truths serve the greater good and which are better left undiscovered. This story teaches us to seek wisdom for positive growth but to be cautious of unearthing secrets that could harm ourselves or others. I appreciate you watching to the end. If gain value, please kindly like and hit the subscribe button for more tip and drop a comment below.